We are at the Theodore Roosevelt National Park, honoring our conservation president. He claims he would never have been president if it hasn't been for his experiences here in North Dakota. There he is, ranching the Badlands in 1884. We're going to be down here in the South Unit today, doing that long red drive that you can see on the map. Then tomorrow we'll probably head on up to the North Unit, and perhaps we'll get out to the Elkhorn Ranch unit where Teddy Roosevelt actually built his ranch, Elkhorn Ranch, obviously. So here's a closer up of the South Unit and the list of daily tours that they have. Apparently a bunch of rangers had a meeting and they just got out of the meeting. They're still huddling over there. We are headed to the left from that visitor center sign. We are at the first overlook of Medora. Down there is the visitor center where we just were, and apparently a relocated cabin that Roosevelt had built, which we'll see on the way back out. Sticking up in the sky is a chimney from the meatpacking business. That and a few stone walls are all that remain of that. Then the Marquis de Moors has his 26 room hunting lodge up there on the top. He is the founder of the city of Medora in 1883. It's about 3 years after the railroad finally came here. Then there is a museum of his artifacts there, which is not far from where the Medora Musical is, and there is the little Missouri River over that way. So here is the brief story of Roosevelt's trip out here. He went on a hunting trip in 1883. Terrible weather, terrible luck. He did kill a bison, and that inspired him to invest in land out here. So he bought the ranch, instructed his hired hands to build him a cabin so that he would come back in 1884. But while he was back in New York City, his wife and his mother both died on the same terrible day, February 14th of 1884. Then he went ahead and moved out here as a fresh 24-year-old widower and found solace in working the land. This is where he became a fan of hard work and discipline. And that cabin is either the remnants of or a replica of the ones that his hired hands built for him. We are at a Prairie Dog Town. Did he find something? He's scratching. We pulled over to the side of the road to see some wild horses running down the riverbank. We have bison right on the side of the road. This one likes sharpening his horns on the bench. There's the little prairie dog. Just standing up, chirping, singing. It's cool seeing the bison with the buttes in the background.
Yeah, it's a pretty shot.
Very pretty. This little prairie dog ran across the street right in front of the pickup truck in front of us. but somehow made it through the wheels to live another day. Is he checking us out?
I think so.
It's pulled off on the side of the road because there's more wild horses, and this time even closer. There's one grazing, and here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. You know my wife's love of horses. She's in seventh heaven here. There she is. Just enjoying the horsies.
I'm waiting on you. Thank you.
Are you excited to see the horsies?
There's horses. These are not Kentucky Derby horses, but they're wild. Which is like a whole different category.
Right next to where we parked on the side of the road, 50 yards back from where the horses were, there's this interesting butte formation. I'm really curious about what made that formation. They decided to cross the road. Boy, 4 of them.
They're pretty. Oh, they come all around.
They love you. 5 of them. And they changed their mind and crossed back. I guess the grass was not greener on the other side of the road. We are here on the map. I forgot to mention this is the Boicourt Overlook, which points out that the little river, Little Missouri River, Badlands, seemed to go on forever. It's about 100 miles long, 15 miles wide, North Dakota's most noticeable landform, and the park only does a small fraction of this. The buttes on the horizon are many miles away outside the national park.
Petrified Wood.
Petrified Wood.
There's another one there and another one there. It forms when volcanic ash covers the living tree and then coats the tree, and the tree dies, and then minerals soak in and it gets petrified because it doesn't get exposure to oxygen and decay or anything.
So it looks like a tree but feels like a rock.
Yes.
That is interesting. There is a little cave over there. Over. Bison footprints over to more petrified wood. 2 of them. I stand before you now betwixt 2 petrified wood examples. There's one, and there is the other. Make sure we get a nice good shot of him. He's got green stuff growing out of the top. That's interesting. So he's hollow. All right, one final look here at these buttes and the 3 petrified wood examples that we see. Of course, the 3rd one is across the way there. Say hi.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
You said stay high as in out of the way.
Oh, stay high.
Hi.
Nope, I lied. That was not the last. That was the penultimate look at these 3, because we're going to walk past these guys, helping you see the dimensionality of it all. Goodbye, petrified wood. It's good getting to know you. Okay, up close and personal on this butte. Interesting how they have these little lines of brown rock at a layer Similar to what Susan was pointing out was the coal layers. These aren't black, so they're not coal, but they're still stained rock all at a given level. Like there was a flood to that level or something. And even on the big ones, you see it layer by layer going up. Brown rocks. Here's a close-up. We have reached the end of the road. The loop temporarily no longer goes all the way around. They've had some coal vein fires where that vein across the buttes, the coal actually catches on fire and it goes under the road.
Lightning.
And so they've had to, I guess lightning was the instigator, had to close the road and do some other repairs to it. So this is where we turn around and go back the other way where we have just come. We are at a Badlands Spur trailhead. Lower Talkington Trail Junction is that away to the right, and Upper Paddock Creek Trail Junction is to the left. Well, that explains it. There is an east loop and a west loop. The Badlands Spur Trail takes you to Lower Talkington Trail. The Lower Paddock Creek Trail takes you all the way to the Little Missouri River. So we are at the end of a creek.
Looks like Beaver's Dam. That's a beaver dam, isn't it?
Is that a beaver dam? Oh,
That's
look
a
at it.
beaver
There it
dam.
is. Beaver dam. That's what stopped the water from flowing.
Yeah. But it is.
We went east and found what looks like a beaver pond in the wet season, but here in the dry season looks like a dry red lake bed. We are taking a little side road. It's a dirt road called Coal Vein Road that has this beautiful view that happens as you come over the hill. So that butte had a coal vein in it, and according to the sign, it burned for 26 years, 1951 to 1977. Where are we?
We're at Buck Hill.
We are at Buck Hill. Second highest point in the park, in the Badlands. In the park. And it is indeed a breathtaking view from the top of the hill. And we have come full circle. We are back at Boicourt Trail. Those of you with good memories realize we took some pictures here, but we didn't take the trail out to the vista. So that's what we're going to do now. Susan thinks that is a helicopter landing pad. I bet in a pinch, a good helicopter pilot could do that. Maybe Phil Curl. We have reached the end of the paved trail, but there's still a dirt trail continuing on from here. Going up there, I think you can see people hanging out up there, looking at another vista view. There's a dry riverbed behind us. That away. There's where we're coming from. And the beautiful view along the way. This is one where the beautiful view is along the way. Although, looking at where we're headed and those people that are on that end of the trail probably have an even more beautiful view. We reached the top of Boicourt and it is gorgeous.
There's a nice view.
Yeah, look all around. It's pretty every direction. That's back the way we came. And I've now come full circle. I know it's the same view on the way home, but it's still just as breathtaking, even though we saw it on the way out.
There's horses grazing, and they're wild. There's more here. Let's see if I can see them. Horses. Look how pretty. Look how pretty.
Oh, we got more bison on the road. Gonna slow us down a little bit. There's trouble on the scenic loop. We were planning on going up Wind Canyon Trail to a beautiful view up there. They said you could see some more wild mustangs, but Mr. Bison is down here guarding the entranceway to the trail, and we don't want to be gored, so we'll have to just live without that trail. We're back in prairie dog country. We are behind the visitor center. They're closed now, but this is the Maltese Cross cabin that we mentioned earlier. It was a temporary home for Theodore Roosevelt, who during his 20s had two places here, two ranches in Dakota, while also a residence in New York. And this is a picture of Sylvain Ferris in a wagon. I think they're saying he was one of the guys that worked for him and maybe helped build that cabin, and an unidentified man on horseback in front of the cabin. And it's got the timeline here from 1883 through the harsh winters where he lost 60% of his cattle, and which kind of led him to pay more attention to his political career and sell off his ranches here. By 1905, it goes on exhibit with the Lewis and Clark Centennial Exposition in Portland, Oregon. Traveled around a number of places in 1947, came back here to the Roosevelt National Memorial Park, which is now, of course, the Theodore Roosevelt National Park. Cabin ownership is transferred to the National Park Service in 1959. They placed the cabin on its current foundation. It's about 7 miles away from where it was originally. But let's go take a closer look. Here is a closer look. They say it's locked up, but I can look inside the windows. Looks like a dining room table in there and a drafting table. Hard to tell, a lot of reflection on the windows. Looks like a potbelly stove in there, probably for cooking and for heating. Back window is a little easier, there's less sunshine back here. I see some rocking chairs and some china and silverware placed out on the table, and a kerosene lamp. Maybe a kitchen kind of area, looks like some shelves with some china on it. Another table with some plates and cups. Here's the back of the house. It looks like people have carved words of some kind into the wood. Vandalism? Wow. There is a side door on this side. You can see the little smokestack for the kitchen cookery. After having a delicious dinner of chicken pizza and Brussels sprout tacos, we come to our car and there's a deer, like 10 feet in front of our hood of our car, just munching away. Don't mind me.